Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu mbadin Gambian kolu mbadin demokrasi kanulalu Gambie banko kan anin Gambie bantala al nal badi malemu NYABALLY of Radio International OMEGA 12 corroborating some part of OUSAINOU SANKAREH's audio that he released this morning on the 8th of September 2023. Mbadi Gambian kolu ngane ko dolba fula anata koteke hani manna koteke politique diamo nyim manke politique diamo di ani jikita ka politique diamo. I have a limited say in that, but na bankola lokola bankola fasala bankola democracy ani rule of law ngamira Gambia di be nyanto soto tole hani politique lo Gambia di be nyanto soto jele bare Gambia la politique kata nyamin NYABALLY part of our politics is very uncivilized, is very uncalled for. So walatina when personally in the farm biringan odido ge kununko ngame janni yankubala second sitting alatnata viral for audio from na ulama muyan karan kol kayam ka foko no dia musifa nkakareke femfe yat hana impose ay nyori ko mu nga genkaye akonye ko muru ye banko molu hakodani kadum mo kendo ni mistake ko ke kamuru ke la mistake ko ka korekindi e ko ka ngaji aka safuna isa ko katide bare ka bari sa yala abu ka bari sa yala woto adamadi ni mistake ko ke ila kuma kan dolto yo mistake ko munke ingenta murule ya tembendi ya mulu majeto ye hakodani wala murna audio to ka murnan ka part of my audios ka retrieve kare ka foko wol mu kam fato kumulati it doesn't come from my heart. Wala tinanga okay, but doesn't mean I will relent in politics. Menda political no. Ndabije sama nyimo sosola solti. Senya being a political nka participate actively. Wale mo first time ti and inshallah wale the last time ti ka fem fo mu yaronko asi modum modolla. Nene mafo adunta wale mo first ti adu wale last ti for inshallah ala man sabato. Barna banku doko mobile tamude OUSAINOU sangena la kela kuma ka support kadiye mum fo bi akuma kan kumar bakele nyinin karol nyilu ijabiro dol bente bulo kono le muli yalan ko kumatale insa fo no nte mo mala bare tonya mu Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tonya mu altallalati tonya mu qur'anoti tonya mu bible tonya mu altalla kuma kan mi yalan ko momo nyenda sonalale ni tonyendroke afu hekatu mabeng mas ngamena nimmo koy hekatu mabeng na fo be bankoto wala tiko be bankoto hani mum mo sifalti ingenta wala fama joni mutalale ala bolo sero mutalale so katuma yankuba dabo findita nan akam fata kadu ye mulfa ye mulkala waya niyo ko ba waya kamba yankuba dabo mo yankam loyal professional loyal mat akam fata ay nendiro ke molla muliya tilimbale akala biro keta adna murnan ay aya famaji akoy al hekatu kam falen duwato mistake tale fo president fo na fo ko al nyilla kito bula yankuba ya almantonya bare president fo ne yankuba nyolla triye jotna bala fate ayam fate akaye padine o mala constitutional right lady banko kan as the president of the republic of the country ale molio sembo diale loi molio sembo diaka loi sembo diala ko loi ni mole loi ndera bare mbari Gambian kolu TRRC e mumfo Mr. President Jane Commission ni am so nengi lera musol koto they will advise you the right thing. That is what I believe. I may be wrong, But that is what I believe. Good women give their husbands good advice to become good leaders, to become good people, and leave good history behind them. Jawara left very good history, but Yahya Jammeh left a very, very uncivilized history for his family. Not his friends, but his own family. Where are they? Musa Dunle, Dole Morocco, Dolbe, Ingamo, Dolbe America, Ibe Munaje, only God knows. At Hanan Guinea Equatoria, Munaje, who knows? So, Mr. President, it ain't the president, you see Gambia, Edinburgh see Gambia, Joe, you become a statesman, in fact, employed to work for UN, ECOWAS, African Union. That is what I want for you, Mr. President. Wallahi, that's what I want for you, Mr. President. I want you to become one of the best presidents in the world so that the UN, the African Union, the ECOWAS will see you and appoint you as an emissary, as an ambassador, to be meddling, to be a mediator in conflict zones like Jawara did. African Union. Mr. President, don't be like Yahya, because at least President don't let the president. What did you ever ask yourself, why don't I get this position? Mr. President. That's what I believe. Not that by now you would have been at least a chairman or whatever of president of African Union or ECOWAS or chairman. You would have been. Or you and because it through you, you dictator BAYE, Kelemanke, Songamanke, Mumamfa, Mumambaram, Mr. President. You did a very good history. Very, very good history. But in history, I have to bulle. In history, can't say history, Mr. President. Not Nyadron, ila do ko be isero. Ora mobuka so yedu ko kudo kendo kumase ay tinye bulo yedu kele ba kumas gambe, Mr. President. In fact, if I were you, after that 3 years, I would have stepped down. Nimanji, not 4 term bank, I would step down. But Nimanji Fanang, 2 terms, New York, Mr. President. Wallahi, I would not even aspire for that term. Already you have laid a good foundation, correct everything, implement all these commissions, yeah, be fulfilled too. Because if I were you, I'll be in my last term. Your last president last term, I can't make so the right things in the country. Because you don't care about that boss anymore. So what you want is Doko, Diakuya, to Nyai Sabati. Jane Commissioner Munkerejela. Bring them back. Take them to court. Let them face the penalty. TRRC, compensate them. Apologize. Munyan apologize. Munyan prison. Let them go to prison. Who should be judged? Let them be judged. For about commission, Munyan more fakir. Bring them to court book. Take them to court. Let them be fined. If they are found guilty, let them face the penalty. CRC, the constitution of the Gambia. Ye Mumfai Banta, Imansoina, Mr. President, bring it back. Hey, Mr. President, ya approve. Afuela approve. Don't even remove a word from there or comma or full stop. Ya approve. Be on your last term. Your second term should be your last term. You would have left a very, very, very decent and excellent history behind you, Mr. President. Wallahi, Mr. President, Ningilke. Lua ni nana kafe mbonijir. Afuela approve. Ala approve. It is the president with your diplomatic mission. More be honor, more see bunya respect. Ah, yeah, president, this man is very wise. I need Bondi because he wants to win the election. So now he is bringing back everything. He's now doing that thing. President Kawaleke, Mansawal Kawaleke. Ila force manda. Ika mobe ika jamal kontan. Ila last manda. Ila last time. Tonya iko bampani. Pam. Tonya ita. Shilo bangokan. Ila well, what is more important now? You're more, Ninkum say, you're 90% of country, be contained. Nimo Dona President is he found as a state advisor. Every month you can have state meeting with the person in President Kadiana Kacha, but depend on the type of progeny, the type of history you left behind. If you leave good history behind you, you enjoy it. I wish you all the best, Mr. President. I wish you can see. But our case, I drop, Mr. President. I drop, please, Mr. President. Abarakabake, this is your family, your friend, your citizen, Alhaji NYABALLY. Well, what I saw yesterday at the courthouse, I think there was maximum restraint from the officers. And I think they were they were partially very professional. The way I saw some movements, not all the video, but the videos I saw, I think I think they were very professional, to be candid. Yeah, sometimes some can be very aggressive upon receiving certain remarks from people, and then they overreact. But they would say, if I had known, I wouldn't have reacted. Because more than Sutele, Gambia unity, back in fact in Gambia, more than five action to a woman. I'm sure we have so found before. As you can compare like, but I'm sure I've been apologize because more than and I'm sure he will go and apologize to this woman. I'm sure of that. Tonyalamu nim police bida ni maximum case of this magnitude ni bida kitiola. They just prepare themselves in their full gears to go and serve as vanguards or guards. That is normal. Even in Europe, it's normal there. But ni karafanam, they make a barricade and stop there. With full stress, they don't move. More than that, this is where you should stop and wait for your people. You can work as professionals. Can I tear gas use? Tear gas from car use is when things are almost out of hand. You use tear gas. That is when they start stoning you. They not even insult. They insult you. That's sugar. Tear gas use. No. Killing full saba. You command them to stop. They continue doing it. That's time you use tear gas. One tear gas you should use. When you have a population of 1,500 people, you use one tear gas, sinister. It has a milligram. That's what you call. I think you have about 50 milligrams. You have 1,500 milliliters. And dependently, the magnitude of the crowd. Crowds more used in the air, so that they will stop what they are doing. If it persists, you have trunkets, you have your sticks with you. Muyake, or you have the intelligence among the crowd. Let them talk to these people. Let them drag them outside. Officers can even go there and drag them aside and advise them. That is professional policing. But Commander, you are a very, very professional officer. I wonder why don't you let your people on such things before they go on crowd control or crowd management? Don't use maximum force against minimum force. That's against the law. Because unlike Yajame time, this time around was very civilized, and in 3 years Jotna was very, 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 very uncivilized. Yajame time was rough. 3 years Jotna was uncivilized. But this time around, I think UP are coming up. I think security is coming up now. They are trying to improve certain things. And this is what we know of good citizenry and better security set up in the country. Mr. President, and security force, Army has no problem. Army is well defined, well trained, well disciplined. They are on their own. They have no cause to be blamed for. This is not their cup of tea. That's why they don't even meddle. The PIU is your responsibility to control the crowd. But don't ever use maximum force against minimum force. Security versus the civilians. In security, we call it maximum force against versus the minimum force. Mr. President. But lastly, your wives should be one of the best advisors to you. Good wives are the best advisors to their husbands. Wallahi, Mr. President, mote kanna katambi la musolla. Mote kanna katambi ila dimbala, Mr. President. Sit with if you are as a president, sit with your family. Put it on the table. Let you discuss with them. Wallahi, Musikelo be advisor, Mr. President, do this and this and this and this. I'm sure if you had concerned with your wives, I want to believe, they would have told you, Jane Commissioner Mumfo, can I selective justice regardless of political affiliations, do what has been recommended. Ni okay. you will sacrifice some, but you will gain more prestige, you will gain more valor. That is what is expected of you, Mr. President. TRC mumfo, ikweko na implement after elections. After elections, I implement, Mr. President, because before election, if it's going to be may backfire. That's understandable. No president would like to touch untouchable things before elections when elections are just very, very near. But after the elections, Mr. President, implement what has been recommended to you, because you set up these commissions. So near this is what you saw there, Mr. President. You consult with your family. Do what has been recommended to you and what is expected of you, Mr. President. Your wives will tell you. Janet Commission, Financial Crisis of Yajame, Mulbigeto. Instead of ye bondigeto, you indemnify some, ye employ again into the system. Walter Kunole, Mr. President, because they were already tainted, they were already dirty. So new to call will be a fasal. It is a fasal. They can't even give you voters. Only even their families may not vote for you. They can't give you voters. Tell your these ministers and your these directors and your these political advisors. Let them go and each of them bring at least 2,000 voters for you, Mr. President. Try and prove that whether they can do it. Most of them cannot do it because you don't want for me like people just follow them because of their interest. But by SANKAREH, Nico go and bring 7,000 voters for me, Mr. President. He can bring you 10,000 voters for you. By SANKAREH can do it. Wallahi, I know he can do it. Anybody about daring, he can go and bring 10,000 voters for me. He can bring you 15,000 voters. Because of their background, because of their influence in the community. But when they are there, political advisors or whatever advisors you may have, well, they can't even bring you 10 voters, most likely. If your wives do what is expected of them as state women, they can bring you entire women fraternity in that country to vote for you. And they can support you, and they can support your programs and policies. I personally hate violence, and I hate the root cause of violence, and I don't want to see violence in any country. I hate violence. I hate people who incite violence, who insinuate people into violence, Mr. President. I hate it. I don't like it. I have all my people in the Gambia, Mr. President. Here in this country, the Gambia, I have all my people here. Mr. President, the Gambia is a very small country. Mr. President, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, nani si the face to face about Mr. President many million yarafang. What our tribe, ma for mo be contandi, but half of the population contandi, or even 3/4 of the population are contandi, 75% contandi. Ebuka mo be contandi no, but it's do jama contandi no, Mr. President. I wish I were one of your advisors, Mr. President. You would have been better. Because this money I have received from you. Mr. President, I think I will tell you the truth. But more to you, Gambia, Mr. President, than your wives. Ndala miroto. Wallahi, Mr. President. Muzukendo, akakema advice kukendo. And I believe your wives could be the best advisors to you, more than anybody else in the country. Not the Chief Justice, not the Minister of Justice, not the political advisors, not anybody else, not the youth advisor, Mr. President. Your wives are the best advisors to you. Mr. President, Momo Karafie, you leave a good journey, good history. But you are safe to go. Nendiro manta dunia kono kitabu kono manta Quran kono constitution kono, Mr. President. So ni mo ndroke anafa ka ni mo ronke akaya apologize to Mr. President, accept it. Mulika IG pil tonyeng IG pil will they have people responsible of different sections in the police. Amiol buka meddle into these issues. Amiol no. Amiol definitely speaking bi yaje metara na GNA na gaf game armed forces wala GNA. Mr. President, I respect the Gambia armed forces. Bi yaje metara hand sign, they are quite calm doing their work as expected because they know their work fundamentally is to defend the country against the external aggressions, Mr. President. ye IGP fa ye serious falling ngame sinya fla also bare ni be two I think they are both worthy IGPs. They talk less and they are pragmatic with their Minister of Defense. In fact, now is the best time. Now is the time you have one of the best ministers in that country, the Minister of Defense, because I saw the diplomatic mission Kele. He knows what is security, and he knows when there is spam in the country, what are the consequences. What the Gambian National Army, bravo, keep it up. Police Olu, Gambia Police Force, IGP, recommendation wole kiji in blato. Hani moye ta ye kurano de ko ye kali kurano ko you are going to support the president. Ye kali wala Mr. President, Mr. IGP. IGP nyelon la jambato. Definitely Ngamira Gambel IGP Bekon, you are one of the most professional IGPs. I have reason for that. Ma for the best IGP, one of the most professionals. You serve under almost 8 IGPs. Directly you work with them. Directly. And none of the former IGPs ever did that. You work under different IGPs. Directly. So it is experience most of the police. Mamira Gambia IGP mu better than Mamma Moyasoljet. Although they learned it and they came to practicalize it. But for you, you learn it, you practicalize it well before you even became IGP. So when you became IGP, it was like an easy ride for you, Mr. IGP. So you know a lot, and you can do a lot for the country. Tell the president, Mr. President, no. Marketing. This will be good for you. B, Asajino maybe not immediately, Asajino as something taboo. But that is the best thing for him. In a police, they are doing very good. Some police officers are doing very good job, definitely. They are doing a very good job in the country. And I know them. We serve with most of them. And we worked with most of them. We schooled with most of them. We taught most of them. Mr. President. IGP Mbedanla, ila men on the ground. They are muye to be more professional. They are professional, most of them, but they have to be more professional. Commander PIU, you are one of the most dedicated and intelligent officers in that country. One of the PIU commander. Bakele, Ifahamuta, Ikaranta, Yebalafaso. You know Quran and you know the language, English language. We met you not once, not twice. So, kana soila molia kuke muyalonko is taboo, is against the laws of the country. Because tomorrow they will say who led them, who instructed them. Because instruction must come from your table to be signed and endorsed by you. Hanya deputy yake because you instructed the deputy to do it. Or the Kanasan Banko Moli dum promo Kanso Banko Moy promo commander. Because me adna ita bani fa bigele ida ko biye ko to bigele ila family be Gambian. Alaman tanga sani kuke iko Karlem the commander is responsible. Mr. Commander, because you are a family, you are a friend, you are a lovely somebody to all of us as Gambians. We may have some differences, but Tonya, you are a professional officer. Whether men and women on the ground, let them be professional. Well, what I saw yesterday, mol fa Gambia kono ibe tama kay mo fulation Gambia kono ibe jella ni mo kacala ibe ko kele faye Mr. President. TRRC ni aje bi jama be aken skan TRRC imala recommendation make as don't look at Isafal because Isafal at the end of TRRC he wants to become politician. In fact, he became a politician. Kana mo jubele ye do kula ay munke ko le jube kana fa wona no jube. a jo a hinda jola munna TRRC wala groupe ni was full of intellectuals and decent people ye do ku baki Gambia ni a recommendation di Mr. President act upon it quickly and immediately. It's likely if you had acted upon those recommendations among witch hunting among tribal loyalty among fendor Mr. President, possibly these past elections you lose certain places, you wouldn't have lost those places. They wouldn't have escaped you, Mr. President. You would have gotten them. But because Banko Molika Kampe Kamale every now and then, because Mulike Yamari, in Malafia Nyatala, don't look at them around you as they are laughing and smiling with you. Hey, Mr. President, yes, sir, you are right, doing the good thing. Mr. President, watch the film of Sarafina. Watch the film of Sarafina. Guy, you are doing the good thing, right? Keep it up. Back and pam pam at the back of you, they gossip you, they slap you at the back. They do everything dirty at your back. But Mr. President, in your front, in your face, or on the very nose, you can follow go, you are doing the good thing. You are the best president. Mr. President will be kidding. Kodo bijani ya marala. Teni ya muso ila muso lesi. Afoy kari kutenga ndenga nyingi soto as a problem. How do you solve it? Wallahi, Mr. President, every good woman will advise your husband a good thing. You see, when I say certain things in my audio, when my mom called me, my wife was seated. My wives called me, they sat with me, and they told me, no, withdraw those statements. And that is the essence of a good wife. One called me, I was seated with other ones. They advised me, my wives advised me to drop it, and I did it. Out of nothing, not a fear, because I was wrong in those areas. Certain things I mentioned, I was wrong. So, kamuruka apology ke, kamuruka quarry thrift, amanke mola bafudu baliati de. Ike mira banko molela, ike mire ko mola, ila la silo, ike mira kafuko. Yawmal kiyama, ibe ndi kidna kumaka wanale. Kasu nsufu le abara. So I listen to my wives, and I will always listen to my wives, my mom and my wives, and my good people. Those who advised me, say no, that audio was good, but this part was not precise. I felt very much elated, happy that more of my this area will rectify it, and I had to come back and apologize to the nation. That would not cut a button from my start. Even if he cuts it, nsi mesendota nga kara koteke and then go do mota jere den ko safere njeri nyabul apologize to the nation. What Mr. President? Mistake ko mo tambala ni mistake okay, come back and apologize. Ni ya mal phenomenon ko is not correct. Sit down with your wives at night, Mr. President. Sit them down, tell them what you have at hand. Let them advise you. And wallahi, Mr. President, ila muso ntenga kafuko nga muso lo nyaming musikendo lo nyaming, Mr. President, nga wula lo nyaming wula balu, Mr. President. Mr. President, ila onkuso barinya balu, Mr. President, ila mo kendo balu, Mr. President, dina mo be gamia ko they are God fearing people, Mr. President. Wallahi, Mr. President, ni ko me down ine muso sita hansa imam convince ini mo si in fact your wives can give you the best advice, Mr. President. Wallahi, ila muso can give you good advice. There is no good friend to a man than your wife. A man has no good friend than your wife. Wallahi, Mr. President. Your wife knows you more than anybody else. So a wife will always tell you, the husband, the right thing. For you became machist, or especially you became machista, you don't want to take the advice because you feel they are women. No. Let's take the advices, Mr. President. Mr. President, I used to know them before. Even you became a president. Mr. President, these are wives of substance and calibers, high calibers. Malon sign it. Bao sembo do biya faline. Bao de bina president ngame sinyake onimo kindam de kono jet. I never spoke any of them again. Only once, that was in 2017, 2018. But Mr. President, Gambia is one family. Be on back in family, Mr. President. Nkana som molka dun nimmo kendo tema. Nkana som molka kelo tikul, kelo suksu banko kan. Nimu ya suksu. Ala faena ay finti aya makawani withdraw. Molka ki yangu bani doke jana withdraw. Hani som da kita kamfai ka diam kane, ibuka diam oni understand foni bandi o moli ala mo ya foye. O kake molal. Isi diam okay ni peda jani kala mo ni abula nada viral ni ekol ya foye. That's time before I list oh yeah, this area was wrong. But Mr. President, the Gambia is a very small country. The Gambia is a very small country. Alinga kata na banko, let's make sure we make peace in that country. As a support dealer, as a foreign funds dealer, hani gina man sayar sama. Dunia mol sitan AU, African Union, ECOWAS, and even UN is itano as an emissary or an advisor. Like Jawara take nyami, ika Jawara ki dunia ko kala peace talk la. Wana Jawara Human Rights Center for Democracy so win yalo Gambia kono. First in West Africa. At least win because of his democratic principles. Mr. President, isi keno sifatli. Jawara mafa bugera mo bela bari aka tentem bakelde. Odo Mr. President, kani fantu molu bulo kono. Ina fanga musolu. Ni musikendo tonya musikendo le muti moli yelo nyami. Odo Mr. President, wol fonda mandama ni yamari. Your advice should be very tangible because diu ne bulo kono. Farwa baro ana manyu. Wol dam fonda mandama Mr. President, ni advice wo ngenta kala fenne mi ka jele bango sambal nyaado because wol be dafle nyatalla. Wol be dafle ko yeme man sayala. Wol be dafle ko hani borje bile misal fi Mr. President. Iko mo tankun, iko mo sumia, ifali ya enjoy Gambia kono. Ni fi da dawda, mo siga madam Baro. Molka winoma, molka ve alpe kema katale. That is what every good woman wants for your husband. Ikema toefo on good things la. Bare president on gina president ala muso bora si Morocco, ala muso da si Guinea Bissau o Guinea Conakry. Ora mandiade. Ora Mr. President, ndesi gina foye ko, you are a brother. You are the father of the Gambia as a nation today, Mr. President. Yankuba Dabola case a drop. Mbedanla a drop. Yalong sometimes iko kunu mere la fona ka fona kilote. Mulika ko push it up, Mr. President. You are on the right track. Kana so nindro jang, kana so nyina jang, jojo disgracefully. So nga sama kijo. Iko alaji wala mo yake. Mr. President, you will be held responsible. Adu yalong ning almantanga ning kilo Gambia ko misal fi. Mr. President, ila basa kulia Gambia ila bankolem. BBC will report, RFI, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, and also all media houses will report war in the Gambia. Just like it happens in Ukraine, just like it happens in Russia, it happens in Libya, Guinea, Togo, Gabon, Niger, you name it. Wala president to ila names are tainted, it told Tinyatali because he can't the bank call him. Hani make. So, Mr. President, if a case will drop, dunia biya nkafi drop le, you know case wouldn't. How would the UN look at you, Mr. President? If African Union is a serious organization, how would they look at you, Mr. President? If ECOWAS is a serious bloc, how would they look at you, Mr. President? You may not be taken seriously, Mr. President. What about SANKAREH kamun fo kafuko, Mr. President, in case you drop? BAYE katonya for Mr. President. Nimota ye keloke Gambia, Mr. President. Funding kelokono. Usene BAYE SANKAREH. Ibrahim Madiba. These people really fought for you, Mr. President. Kanyeje kafuko. Ila current level is not very high. Ibrahim Madiba karam batale. Adu BAYE SANKAREH manta masi karamu kono, masi klaso kono. Bara faham batale. Akaram tafanang because anin karna kata. Wana ko ni me la fali bayola ibuka fali kawo moy bari e gas la foro bo nyotal ninin karanal kata hanima be suute ibuga safero bonno nyoto ibuga safero misal fi bari e ka mum fo ko famle kalone oto Mr. President mbe mum fo wala ko itle mo gambe president yanguba nendro ya drople ye kes ni beto yanguba kunale ya an man ya jo ibala fa yango nyele yebula oto kes ni afoye ko mala problème wala ndala banko do abatale lafta banko be ka kirindile fonsi me mansa yala hani lafta ka mansa de buray jawra ka nyami Mr. President o telephone bloko ni aje gambe ko nyaaw dunela ibe demonstration upon demonstrations, insults upon insults, insinuations upon insinuations. Mr. President, political sabotage upon political sabotage, economic dissidence upon economic dissidence. Mr. President, yamfayangu bala kuwala yamfayangu bala kuwala mulika foye ko nyinke Mr. President, I don't think they are telling you the right thing. BAYE SANKAREH Al-Kanamira, he is UDP, he is still NPP. Bari abuka fenye muyananko asiata dadi foro because akamunfo is the right thing. In many cases, wananko ala kumaka wanjama biye mbol support kafuko case yin drop. Munat na jojolu woli manna wuli muye mola moli fa. Yesu yar baki Gambia kono. Mr. President. Woli nendir la jumale mu criminality banko kam Mr. President. Muye mola moli fa Gambia kono. Balmem fa wala muko. Ousainu nyin karo nyin ndala jabiro je wala muko. President Baro Gambia le president mamira yamar la kendol soto na yamar la kendol so miyalon ko lata altalala ila kila Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam ko mo dina molati bir Christian or Muslim e nyanta ka president yamari tonyalla bari Chief Justice Attorney General Minister of Justice ni mo fulolu e buga president yamari fenna mu yalla go tonyala mati nin tonyala mu num president ko do biya keki atekela kadum Minister of Justice wala the principal advisor to the president bigo wa yamara dolu wol manke fenti wol mo kido juro samroleti because imam fenkarang imam fellong imam protocol so long it may observe nan so imalo mum moti what is we the president advisor munna yamara munna ima wolong as long as karo kari kela josoto karo kari kela alam soto they are close to the president mo sawe kari kata president bakele mo sila marinya o sila nyaade gambelde o sila nyaade gambelde mbadi onde wole muko ali president yamari sila kendola president Baro yemultere yamar lal kono ma fe kane kuma kan betade bare ka kodol foye dol lamfe idol tenteng ni ko me jake la bi da yamaro kono dina nyaton ko kuma ni lata mulla ma fe bede bari lata mulla wol kumandi ye ngini kay opinion la Mr. President man sa kilin jamano buka dunia bang ada buka banko tumbung bari mansa ni lata moli kanu loi dibe ye bula loi noma ye la dino fasa ye almadiya fasa ye demokrasi fasa momo nyanta do bani so banko kan ya dila bani tere ko karni malla fi la Mr. President because ila feka kuma kan fa mundi ay deploy e mantay advice kan fenna mi yana ko woni slotarale at the end sama nako pum ni tar Mr. President e boda kata fe Mr. President ha o mori baje be borre bala ya jami takere jeni fo ye jeni Mr. President ya fini je ya akino gine kotore sai fendi they are pressing you be ko be fole ba fole sai very soon they will call you babili mansa sila bidi mansa sila konko mansa iba fole na sir dini ibe tobe de say very soon they will start giving you names me and it's not done. Jojo, these mercenary judges, Mr. President, kana for national banko kan kamola kijoke wala ni benat lang nyin jojolu yake modu mi ko they are well qualified, they are emeritus wol buka sila fenna e buka tonya fasa e buka fania fasa ko tonya fasa bari nyin joji kalanta mi ko ila banko fankan imam mérite so jeto dol fam bi jeto yela degree ya sanni they can even practice to become a professional lawyer to defend their clients or customers. These judges, look at their history in their own countries. How many serious cases have they won? Sooner case lemu, but murder case infanticide and other serious criminal cases. Ibukalo wala ke win jama bijeto. So ni ona banko kan. Iko na nyi sokki iko na ke mole master jojolti. Mr. President, I'm sorry. Banko bida nyami nimma nyodema au kole abakele ful banko itlisi lola. Ika IGP likafu IGP leka kuolike IGP leka kuol Mr. President nimol ko idati yankuba kokono asike idati jir barde Mr. President lo banko president bide ide ko yanfara komunna ya ko en jolon kolonkonon ya sare Mr. President mun bo ko ulinda sai asike no mun be ko sukusukan Mr. President asike mala fi man sayala de because ilafta mun olom ko yale ko ni UDP ko moma UDP is a family ni ama ila mo be wula adila mo wulta askina ki violence in the country and na violence askina ati wotla so ila feteta Mr. President it's most likely ma fo baskina wolem woto Mr. President yam fayan kuba dabola case la afoye ndala nga ko nyimbula jeto mune nyi case wurundi Mr. President ofoye mala fi nyi ko an inch ala drop even before the date. Yeah, drop, Mr. President. In fact, that will give you more moral and it will give you more support to realize that you are a real Democrat. Useni by SANKAREH ngininka dan kijanto ngininka kumabalu. Na kuma se maybe angeda commission do la munke da farba commission di CRC commission, Jane commission, TRRC and House of Orders currently the area councils commission. But mulbata sign follow for 4 commissioners of Faraba, Jana Commission, TRRC and CRC, Constitutional Review Commission, TRRC, Truth, Reconciliation, Reparation Commission, and in Jana Commission led by Justice Jane. Mbarionu, ning new binder of Kwanyin Kono. Amanke Fendemi Alankona is politically motivated. O amanke selfish interest na mere yankuba yan ko man yantala kidibu mfana fam tumomi na ko ayam fata al bal fa yam fay mobe yam fata fo ya almano jo e ko bal kidi na fota la na fo ya almano fana jo o tuma yang bam am pare problème wad yankuba da mala problème wala am pare na pare wono ba fa ntajo la ngata let's to go to the highest level kadum follow nendiro amanta kitabu kono dunia marro kono. There is no constitution in this world that carries an insult as an abusive thing. Tell me if I am wrong. I stand to be corrected, fellow countrymen and women. Nani na ikamu na ko baba mansolu king yolu queen yolu banko mungang. Wolu niela queen neng, be queen king niol neng. Ila lineage ning. Ike samba kitiola, ike aliman. Wala ye soron kari woro o kari woro dum fandu amanke kada kaso kono de ika ko di malle kan ya do ko ke man say free ne president neng o manke fenti dunya ko because politician on mati mo mi aka political office le mo si femfe fono ja ba president nyenta ke sundu kunti wana ba kawsu ka president baro ko sundu kumbaro ni ko e sundu kun ita nginda ko beltala inda munya ko bella mo kay suku mo kay don kuro because president altala ka tombong mo ga president tombon altala ka tombong aka sum molla matolla molla jara kende molla movement o aka sunwola bal altalla bawa ko alta ka fewfen kun sundi kulla bal ni la president e be kela moy mobile de ni kela moy mobile dron ike duni problem ko na meta akana ke fon fele yaya jamme ngene ke yaya jamme janto ye yaya jamme ya dundi fa kaunto amanna na wati hayna siri gine kutoria yaya be siwoto muliyadu problem kono dolu borta dolu fe murna gambia ine dimbal ne diwila ila musul be sirin iba chuni chala gambia wolle mol fa ya jamme wolle ko ya jamme karimu mo jawoti karimu nyeti yewol be dol sorong idol fa idol bay banko kam ndel be bo bor jonde kono bare mbali gambian kolu ali nga kada bake nga fama jo sama na politiko kono niaje useni baye sankare ani ibrahima diba ni diamu dankela kuma kawno sembentu ya mole mo miyano ko ngelo mbake adum fania fotela koto ika toñale fo ado ne fimbo don jama bijedo ni a mention ndaka evidence to ko la karolal one nke support ado momo in doubt I can produce evidence for you on any of these people's audios. Yes, I believe in that. Baye Sankare ngini karoke ako munatna jojo lumang ta kafa president boroy ko ye nyin TRC mol ñu yebula jane commission mom yebula an ora commission mi ko tinyaro ko je manson na wol tamandla so yebula ndele bida nyapile kan ngi sama luwa ko luwa le afo igenda police lale Ousainou Baye Sankare lo ngini kar kuma balti. I wonder how many objective Gambians can answer that question objectively.